Hi, I'm Rhianne and I have no idea what I'm doing. Haha. Hi, it's me, Rhianne again. Happy New Year, everyone. It's Rhi, and it's time for some dev talk and tea. Okay. Let's give this a go, shall we? Around 5 years ago, I started a YouTube series called Dev Talk and Tea, and it was meant to be part diary entries from me talking about my experience in the games industry and part potentially being helpful to other people who wanted to embark on the same journey getting into game dev. However, after 3 episodes, I dropped it because I realised that game development, starting in game development on my first title in AAA, it was a lot more than I realised. Game development can be very time consuming and very creatively consuming because you're creating something every single day, and so to come home and put pressure on myself to film or write a script to be filmed, it was very overwhelming, and I felt like I wasn't at the right time and the right place to do this. But it's been almost 6 years since I started game development and around 5 years since I did that, and I think I'm ready to come back and try this again. So welcome back everyone to Dev Talk and Tea. Hello everyone, my name is Rhianne Murphy. As I said, I've been in the games industry for almost 6 years now. I'm currently a narrative designer at Square Enix, and this is just going to be maybe a monthly video diary just discussing things about the games industry, perhaps discussing topics about previous experiences in the games industry, just thoughts in general about what it's like to be a game developer. So I thought that this was as good a time as any to come back to it. I feel ready. And also I thought we could start slowly with just a bit of a test episode, a bit of an introduction as to who I am, what I do. So yeah, that's what today's video is going to be about, really. As it's Dev Talk and Tea, we do have a brew on the go. Today we are drinking a chai latte, a spiced chai latte. I do have some B-roll footage which I will try to put in. I think it's probably done by now, I didn't film that much of it. So, how did I get into the games industry? I'm not very important, however, sometimes discussing everybody's individual journeys into the industry can open up more avenues to people looking to join the industry, and also it helps you to understand a little bit more about me and where my perspective and experiences come from. So I started my journey into games at college level. I went to a college called Confetti Institute in Nottingham. Big up to Nottingham. And it had a specialist course. Instead of doing A-levels, it was like a BTEC level 3 it was called at the time. Do they still make those? I don't know. Am I getting older? Yes, I am. So anyway, I did 2 years of that college course, specialising in game design and technology. And I came into that thinking I wanted to be a concept artist. And then I got my hands on UDK3, which for those of you who don't know was before Unreal 4. It was the predecessor to Unreal 4. And I fell in love with it. I fell in love with design. I fell in love with physically creating things. And that's when I started my journey from moving from art into the design field. After my college course, I took a university course, a bachelor's degree, again specialising in the field of game design and technology. And again, I've primarily focused my studies around design. However, not all of the university experience was smooth for me. Games as a university course can be very hit or miss, I found. That was certainly the case in my experience and a lot of my friends' experience as well, but maybe we could do another episode on universities at another time. I don't know, is that helpful? So I did 3 years specialising in design, and when I left, it took me about 6 months after I graduated to land my first job in the industry, which was a level design internship at a place called Sumo Digital in Sheffield. I started working on Crackdown 3 in January of 2017. That was the first title I worked on. It was the first title I shipped. So I went straight into AAA development, working with Microsoft. It was jumping into the deep end, but I did learn a lot. And by the end of how many years did I work? 2 years I was on that project, because I was on it until pretty much it shipped in 2019. I learned a lot, and by the end of that project I was actually an intermediate level designer. But during that project I discovered narrative design. I worked with Microsoft's lead narrative designer, I believe at the time lead narrative designer, who was absolutely lovely, and he taught me a lot about narrative design, and I took on a lot of responsibilities from narrative design without really realising it, and I ended up going away to my seniors and going, hey, why don't we have narrative design as a role here? Could we do it? Like, is that something, because I'd love to do this, like more of this, I'd love to specialise in this. And by the end of working on Crackdown 3, I ended up helping establish a narrative designer role in Sumo in Sheffield, which was really, really cool. I think typically a lot of narrative designing kind of gets split into different facets of design. Like, a lot of it is kind of put onto either game designers or level designers. So now we're kind of creating more elaborate games and more games that focus on story. Narrative design is a role that is becoming more and more needed, in my opinion anyway, especially through a lot of narrative-driven titles, as you could assume. So it was really, really cool to help develop that role at Sumo, and I'm forever grateful for that. And in 2019, I got put on as officially a narrative designer on an undisclosed project, which I'm still not allowed to talk about, but hopefully we'll be able to talk about soon. I don't know. And from 2019 up until this year of 2022, I worked as a narrative designer and was promoted to a senior narrative designer working on that title. Again, was a lot of learning involved. I was able to get my hands dirty, which I absolutely love, getting involved in things. And so that brings us kind of into recent times, where earlier this year I made the decision to take a leap and move over to a new company, and that company is Square Enix, which is insane for me. Little fact about me, my entryway into going, I want to make games as like a job, I love video games, I want to make them, was Christmas of 2005, 2006, when Kingdom Hearts 2 was advertised. It was just releasing, and I'd never played any of the Kingdom Hearts games before, and I saw this advert, this one-time advert, never saw it afterwards, but I remember the advert, I remember the title of the game, and I asked for it for Christmas, and that was Kingdom Hearts 2. And I played that game, and it was just a game that completely changed me. I was 11 or 12 at the time, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. And so to be able to come full circle and work for Square Enix, which is the company that created and published Kingdom Hearts 2, and other titles obviously, but my one game, the one game, is insane. And so yeah. So here we are, coming up to the end of 2022, and honestly, I just want to create more things. I'd love to just sit down and talk about things in the industry, perhaps share some insights, perhaps just be cozy and, I don't know, just have a nice comfort, cozy place to talk to people about things and share my experiences, maybe good, maybe bad, maybe completely irrelevant, who knows. But thank you for sharing your time with me today, and if you have any ideas or suggestions of things you would like to hear me talk about, or would like to just relax and talk about on this channel, then let me know. And yeah, I hope to create more content, and I hope this time we'll make it past 3 episodes, which would be an achievement in itself. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time, and yeah, hope you have a good brew.